Hey guys, what's up? Ross here, and welcome to this training cracking the AI agency code. Discover my most profitable niche, offer, price points, and demo framework. Now, guys, this training is going to be fire, and here's why. A lot of people are pretending to sell AI bots to end user businesses, and they never have. They might be selling a snapshot or some sort of AI bot system to other marketers, but there are so many gurus pretending to ride. They're just trying to ride this AI wave where we've literally been working with business owners. And I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to show you who we're targeting, how we're closing them. This is going to be incredible. Now, I don't like fooling people. This is not a live presentation, but we are live in the chat. So while this video is not live, the chat in our response and our agents responding to you in there is 100% live. So go ahead, drop your name in there. We want to get to know you. I actually man the chat some of the times as well. It's on all of our phones. So feel free to get to know us because this is going to be a fun training. And based off your responses, we'll know where you're at in the training. So real quick, in the chat, let me know true or false. And I'm just going to do a little quiz. I just want to see where you're at with this. But do you feel that AI is moving so fast that it's too late to get in? This is a fear that some people have. They think that right now, I think that it's just moving so fast. I feel like I'm behind. If that's the case, let me know down in the chat. How about this one? Do you fear that starting an AI agency would be chasing shiny objects? Let us know down below. And lastly, do you feel that you would need to completely rebrand to make this thing work? If that is the case, then this training is going to be perfect for you because I'm going to just blow through all these and you're going to love it. See how easy this is to implement. For those of you who don't know me, I'm not going to do like this big rags to riches story, blah, 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 like most people. Hopefully this will not feel like a Russell Brunson style webinar. My name's Ross. I'm the founder and CMO of Consolidata. We're a software company that's been around for about 3 years. I've sold over 900 AI chatbots in the last 10 months. I would say in our circle or community, which if I'm targeting you, then you're probably in there, then there's literally no one more qualified to speak on this topic of selling and acquiring AI bot customers than me. If you can send me proof that you've sold more, then drop it at support@useconsolidata.com. I will buy consulting from you, because I'm trying to always be on the leading edge of this. And I feel I am the leading edge of this. Now, that's my beautiful wife there. You can see we're from Wisconsin, just down to earth, regular people. We throw all of our money back into the business. So we're not going to be showing Lamborghinis and all that sort of crap, because that doesn't really appeal to me at all. Anyways, let's get into this. Consolidata, if you guys know what Go High Level is, Consolidata actually, let me go back on that. Well, if I can. Consolidata won a developer award just recently. The 2024 most popular app. You'll see that we rose in the marketplace pretty big, which, that's cool. I didn't know we were going to get that award. I wasn't even at the event. People were sending me pictures of it, and I was like, that's awesome. But we're just head down working on creating great products and serving our customers, to the best of our abilities. Now, I have 2 goals for you guys today. The first goal is simple. I want you to walk away from this training feeling like you know exactly what you should be offering and how you should be offering it to grow an AI agency. I want you to know the best niche to target, what your offering should look like, and how much you should be charging for this offer. I mean, that's pretty much everything, right? But here's goal number 2. I want to sell you something for about $1,000. And the reason for it is because here's my thinking, that if I truly deliver on promise number 1 and you don't feel like I just did a bait and switch here, but you literally feel like, wow, he gave me everything, and you feel like you have this clear path forward to acquire, fulfill, and retain customers, then why wouldn't you just entertain the offer? It doesn't mean you have to buy it. Just entertain it. Do we have a deal on this? Let me know in the chat if you think that that's fair. Just type fair. So let's get into this, cracking the AI agency code. Our focus, what to sell, who to sell it to, how to sell it to them. Why is this the focus? Because this is the crap right here that people are selling. I see this in my news feeds. I see people running ads to stuff like this. They think that This is impressive. People are going to buy this whole workflow. And it's driving me nuts. Look at this. Here's an ad of something just like that. People are selling this. Now, I'm going to pull back the curtain on this for a minute. There is a big misconception. People think that complexity equals value. Marketers are doing this nonstop. Oh, if I make it look hard enough, people will just buy it. The idea that if you make something look complicated enough, people think that it will take too much time, therefore they just buy it, is a misconception, because simple sells. Quick outcomes equal value. People want to buy something that will change their life today. That's what they want. So do you honestly think that something like this is going to change your life? No, this is complicated crap. This isn't even recommended, because this to me just looks like, wow, what are you going to do when something breaks? What happens is you have these people that are in their basement trying to build a business. And so they build a long workflow that they're not even sure if it's effective with the customer. They just know that technically it works, and then they resell it to other people who think that complication equals value. It doesn't. So who are these guys making their money off of? Is you. They're just making their money off you. That's not what a business owner wants. Do you think that that small little business down the street is they see the ad and like, oh my God, that's the workflow I wanted. So here's a little tidbit, and I'm going to sound a little hypocritical on this. Look at someone's news feed if you're trying to buy from them, and see what do they talk about a lot. And scroll back over the years. If you see them go from funnels to crypto, back to funnels to crypto to bots to crypto to funnels to option. Like, the reason I say that I'm going to sound a little hypocritical is because I do have a software company that services marketers, but I do sell to end users. I have both sides of it. But it's important for you to really get to know, like, can these people actually help me, or are they just really good at making it sound like they can? Here's my take. I saw this post a few weeks ago, and this guy, I feel bad for him, Darren. He says after 4 years of being active in the Go High Level community, he's saying goodbye. He just basically has bought all this stuff. Russell Brunson, Josh Nelson, Matt DeSeno, Alan Dibb. He's bought all this stuff, and he's just not making money. His business just isn't sustainable. This guy here, he read the same post and shared it. He said he can relate. The problem that all these people have is that they're paralyzed by complication. They are absolutely paralyzed by complication. They don't know what's selling. They don't know why they're selling it. And I'm going to show you how to pull all that back, simplify this, and have a really clean path moving forward. But they're asking themselves, how do I stand out from all the other SaaS resellers? And guess what their answer is? CSS, custom menu links, workflows, all the crap that nobody really cares about. The problem with all of this is that complexity leads to crappy messaging, crappy demos, and crappy retention. Now, here's what I've learned is that history repeats itself, because this happened once again in the marketing, or once before in the marketing world. You might remember this, 2017 to 2018. Agencies, they were in a weird spot because people went from being excited to make posts and generate leads on social to like now they're demanding a return on ads. I put in this, I get that. That's what people wanted. So because when you think about it, first we were all excited just to run ads to a thing and say, hey, look, we got a name, email, and phone number of somebody who's potentially interested in your service. Then they were, well, these people aren't responding. We're not getting any conversions, blah, 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 blah. So what did we do as marketers? We added in automations. Smart. It worked. But the problem with that is even though now we were getting good follow-ups and we were setting appointments, we started selling differently. Even my agency, we accidentally started doing this. What do I mean by that? Is the aftermath of us trying to get this great result is our demos started to naturally focus on the drill and not the hole. So we went from selling them on, why lead gen is good for their business and how these leads can help, make them sales and KPIs and all that, to now we were like in workflows showing them like, oh, when the lead comes in, it gets this text message and it goes through this series. And we started focusing on the drill and not the hole. And when my agency started doing that, conversion rates dropped like a rock. Our demos were not converting as well. And part of that is because that is now a commodity. There's a lot of other people that can offer that. When I'm selling someone on a result, it's different. It's like art, because I'm the only one who's claiming that result. And all clients wanted back then is the same thing they want today, which is the easiest result. They don't care if it's an automated text or an AI, as long as they're making money. Like, if I can make $1,000 pop through your phone a couple times a week, do you care if AI did it or if it was a standard text message? Not really. You don't give a crap. All you want is the greatest result, the greatest return on your money. The expectation that your customer has from you now has not changed, but the difference is how you're executing. So here's what I did back then. We saw our conversion rates dropped. We changed everything. I just offered to make people's phones ring with qualified people. That's all I did. I would say, hey, for X amount per call, I will make your phone ring. So maybe it was $250 per qualified call for personal injury attorneys. I'll get you on the phone with somebody who's qualified. They meet all the criteria and they want an attorney. That's how I did it. And that was when my agency blew up to over $520,000 a month, was when we just started selling the result. They didn't care if it was Facebook ads, Google ads, TikTok ads. They didn't give a crap. My job was not to sell them a drill. It was to sell them a result. So they had no lead follow-up, no missed appointments, no bad leads, no software to even log into. Just, here's your money, my phone's ringing. That was it. Today, history repeats itself. People are now selling the drill. You see it on there. They are feature dumping on people. I see people making videos. Listen to the voice of my bot. Listen to how this bot. Who gives a crap? It doesn't matter. They don't care. They just want a result. They have so much to offer that they don't know what to offer. Now, there's different levels of stage of awareness that buyers have. They don't know what the problem is, but they know that what they want. So these are people who are not problem aware. Then you have people who become problem aware and they know what solutions might exist, but they don't know what one's right for them. Then you have people who are solution aware and now they are looking at specific solutions. You don't want solution aware people because now you're competing with other products. So we want to go back a step. We have to start selling to people that just want the result. Now, what this is causing people to do is have crappy messaging, crappy offers, crappy retention. That's exactly what it's causing. That's why this AI thing is it's more for us than it is for them, and I'm going to show you why. So what am I offering today to people for these AI bots? I'm just offering to make their phone ring with qualified people. That's it. The only thing I've changed is now I don't have a call center of 40 Filipinos. Now I'm doing it through AI. The messaging is clear and simple. I used to have, and I use a complete automated AI system to do it. I used to have this Filipino call center with all these people. It was exhausting. And this entire thing is focused on an outcome and not a software. In fact, when I'm doing demos, I log in and show them like the platform for like 30 to 60 seconds. Most of the call is just a call. And we're going to talk through that in a little bit here. But I want to give you this example on selling the outcome and not the tools. Let's say that you're wanting to get your basement refinished. And you have two guys you're getting a quote from. And you say to one guy, hey, why should I buy from you? He says, well, I use all Milwaukee drills. And I'm going to use these kinds of nails and blah, 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 and these kinds of tools. And I just got a brand new hammer. And he'd be like, who gives a crap? I just want a nice basement. And then you say to the other guy, why should I buy from you? Well, I see you have small children. I'm going to round out the corners so that they don't get hurt. I'm going to get you a good price on these materials because I have an in with blah, blah, blah supply. And he really starts crafting an offer. That's the person because they're focused on the end result in the offer. They don't give a crap about the tools. This is no different than when you come and say, hey, you should buy from me because I'm using this AI bot. They don't care. They just want the money. They just want the end result. We get stuck in the freaking weeds as marketers, and we shouldn't. So would you guys like to learn how to implement this into your SaaS or agency today? Of course you would. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this stinking automated webinar as we go through it. So let's go through it. Step number 1. How do you nail this live transfer offer? So here's what I like to tell people. You send your leads into my system. I will qualify them and put them on the phone with you during business hours. That is simple. I'm not going to make you follow up with leads. I'm not going to send you leads. I'm not going to do all that junk. I am literally going to make your phone ring during business hours. Sounds pretty incredible, doesn't it? So how does it work? So let's say a lead comes in and we are messaging the people we go after. They already got leads. They don't need me to run ads for them. If you are running ads for people, this is a great upsell. But if you're not, I don't like being a traffic guy anymore. Traffic guys get pissed on because they're constantly being churned and someone always thinks that, a better lead source or something's going to be better. So anyways, step one, lead comes in, they get a text message that says to them, hey, just saw you were interested in our offer. Do you got a minute for a phone call? If they say yes, and this is during business hours, then we go to step two. And they get a second message that says, great. This is huge, by the way. Just so you know, when my system calls you, it's going to ask you a few questions and then it'll patch you through to me. Okay? Great. Then they get a phone call from the AI bot. Hi, this is blah, 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 blah booking service or whatever. Do you have attorney so-and-so is on the other line? Can I ask you a few questions before I patch you through? Yes. It asks the qualifying questions. Then it live transfers them to the end user. It live transfers them to the attorney. So it did that qualification. That's it. Now, now what if it's after business hours? Then what happens is the bot goes back and forth on text and says, hey, can we schedule a call for tomorrow during business hours? And they say, yes. Okay, what would be a good time? 3:00. 3:00. Okay, I'll shoot you a message as a reminder a few minutes before. Great. The next day comes. 2:30 rolls around. And the bot says to him, hey, just so you know, before when my system calls you, it's going to ask you a few questions before it patches you through to me. Great. And they say, great. Sorry, I got like a hiccup. Great. Bot calls them, qualifies them, boom. So the trick thing is our customer never has to follow up on the leads. Our AI bot is doing all the work. Even when they can't hop on a call, we schedule the call not for the person to call them, but for the bot to call them the next day. It's a beautiful system that works awesome. So how do we turn this into a good offer? Well, you've heard it said that to have a good core offer, you need a new opportunity. And I agree with that. But a lot of times people do a bonus stack, which I like bonuses in some instances. But with end user businesses, what I found works really good is to have objection filters. So here's what I mean by that. An objection filter, let's say it's a personal injury live transfer, which is what I offer. This is what I used to do for personal injury attorneys. So we're going to contact every single lead that you send me up to 10 times, and then we're going to transfer it over. Objection number one is, yeah, but what if I don't want to talk to people who are at fault? No problem. So what I'm going to say is all of these people are people who are not at fault. They are all within the statute of limitations, and they all went to the hospital. They all have a police report. And our agents never take a holiday smoke break, and we don't churn. And I'll explain that in a minute. But here's what I just did is now if they say, I don't know, we can say, listen, if we put you on the phone with someone who was in a car accident, once an attorney, they're not at fault. They're within the statute of limitations. They went to the hospital and they have a police report, and you can't close them, then what? I don't even know what we're talking about. Then we're not a good fit. So what it is we're taking the objections that they might have out of this. Now, if these people are already generating leads, which most of them are going to be, then what you're doing is saving them time by filtering out the crap, because they get on a lot of calls with a lot of people that are unqualified, and it's exhausting. So here's what I mean when I say these AI agents, they never take a holiday smoke break and they don't churn, is that the problem with call centers is that people hate working in them. And you can tell this to your customers. People hate working inside a call center. It's a job that you just use to get you through until you find something better. But you know who loves following up on leads is AI bots. It's just all day long. You just crank it out. You crank it out. So we've actually done the math. We've done the data. So regardless, when a lead comes in, we text it first because you get a 55, 65% response rate. But if you have a human follow-up on that lead, you're going to have a 25 to 55% transfer rate, where when you have AI follow-up on the lead, you're having 45 to 55% live transfer. So your variable is much lower because you don't have two humans on the phone call. You only have one human on a phone call, which is the person that they called. Humans equal inconsistency. One call might go to one call center, Filipino call center, India, whatever person, and then one might go to the next, and they're going to get completely different results. So you can't really ever optimize. You can't do a true A/B split test because you can't be like, oh, I'm going to send half the traffic to this bot and half the traffic to this bot. It's like, okay, I can split test people, but if someone's sick, they're not feeling good. Humans are just a big variable. So what is the value of a caller? It is just to pick up the phone and dial. That's really it. Filtering out garbage leads. That is the value of what a caller does. And both of these things can be handled by an AI agent way more efficiently than anything else. You don't need the person because most of these callers are not closing leads. Most of these callers are literally just doing exactly what we stated. So here's my proposition for you. Don't be afraid to mention AI and ride that buzzword, but when it comes to your pitch and your offer, simplify everything. Make it about getting on the phone with customers and do not focus on the workflows and the complexity and all that stuff. One last thought on this is that people hate no-shows, leads that won't answer, changing their behavior. And with AI transfers, you remove all this pain. You're focusing on what's selling. There's this follow-up fatigue that people get. And so you're eliminating that. So let's take us into step number 2, which is the niche. Who are we going to target with this offer? Now, I love this part because this is like, boom, brain shattering for so many people because you just don't hear a lot of people talking about this. You hear people say that the riches are in the niches, like that phrase, just buzzword in everyone's head. When you think about starting an agency, what's the first thing people say? Who do I want to go after? Who do I want to target? When you're running ads, who do I want to target? But here's what I have found is that people always assume that niche means industry, but sometimes a niche can be a pain point. Oof, let's just think about that for a minute. You think of a software like Salesforce. Who is their niche? I couldn't tell you, but I know what pains they solve. That's exactly what I'm getting at right here, is that if you go after a pain point with this offer, the fulfillment is just so easy regardless because you're just changing a few qualification processes and plugging in a system in place. But if you go after the pain, then you're going to drop your cost per lead. Everything's going to drop. So by targeting a pain point, not an industry, because we've done it many, many different ways, your cost per lead drops significantly. So when I target an industry, my demos are like $100, $110. When I target just a pain point, my demos are like $45 to $65. Isn't that incredible? My cost per appointment has dropped, so my cost per sale naturally drops. Our show rate is great. Our show rate is like 75%, and we have a very high conversion rate. It's right around like the 35, 40% conversion rate of our sales, depending on who takes the call. We have some people that can convert up to 60% of them. The nice thing, too, is you have more agility to pivot. So you don't have to like go rebrand and be like, okay, well, I went after landscapers, but that didn't work. You can just be like, hey, I'm going to launch some ads and go after whoever, because on your website, it doesn't speak specifically to them. Now, I get niching down works for some businesses, and I'm not against niching down, but I'm just telling you for AI bots and for this particular offer, I've already spent well over $300,000 on Facebook ads targeting this, offer. It works better when you target the pain point, not the industry. And then you don't bottleneck yourself in. I've seen people literally wait like 3 to 4 months because they're trying to figure out who they should target. I see people trying to customize their Go High Level accounts, which I don't really use Go High Level for much more other than some workflows because we're using our own AI bots and our own AI techs because Go High Level doesn't do outbound voice, which you need in order to be able to call a lead and do live transfer. And so, at least at the time of this training, they don't. So I'm a big fan of going after pain point, not an industry. So let's talk about the pain points we're focusing. People who are short-staffed and they have follow-up fatigue. What is follow-up fatigue? You've probably experienced this if you've ever been in the lead gen space or if you've ever generated leads for yourself. Follow-up fatigue is where at first, like the leads, it's fun. You're calling people, you're texting them. After 2 weeks, you're beat and you're like, turn it off. That's what follow-up fatigue does to you. AI bots solve speed to lead issues. And so here's a little filter for you though. Ideally, you want someone who has someone who can answer the phone during business hours. Doesn't mean we're not going to sell to them, but I'll give you an example. If it's like a roofer and it's a one-man show, if you try to live transfer to something to him during the middle of the business day, he might not answer his phone because he's going to be on a roof. If that's the case, we can pivot the offer a little bit and just book appointments, but I'm not a fan of appointments because then you're going to have to deal with a no-show rate. And I hate anything that brings negativity into a business, and no-show rates is a negative point. But ideally, we're going after places that someone can answer the phone during business hours. So the one workaround on this too is the notifications of a missed call text back, because I get paid regardless. And you could think of this almost like the Google local service ads, is that if someone clicks on that and calls them, they're getting charged regardless. And so what happens is let's say the live transfer fails because they didn't answer. They basically get a text message that says, hey, sorry, I'll call you right back. I just got tied up. I saw you were trying to be transferred to me. I'll call you in just a few. And then you keep sending text notifications to the person who missed the call until they actually make the call. So how does this targeting the pain work? I'm actually going to show you guys a quick video here. Let me share my sound. I want you to see what targeting the pain looks like.
While texting a lead is the quickest way to get a reply, getting them on the phone is hands down the best way to convert them. In the past, you had to hire virtual assistants to follow up on leads and direct transfer only the qualified ones to your salespeople. But now, with Done4You Live Transfers, you can easily build no-code AI voice agents for sales and support that actually achieve a better conversion rate and cost significantly less. Here's how it works. Once your customer agrees to receive a phone call, they'll get a message that says, "Great. Just so you know, when my system calls you, it will ask you a few questions before patching you through to me." Then, they'll receive a phone call from our AI voice agents. Let's listen in on an example phone call for a personal injury attorney.
I just received your accident inquiry and wanted to see if you have a moment to talk.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I just want to let you know that I'll be asking you a few questions to get a better understanding of your situation, and then I'll transfer the call to one of our attorneys who can provide you with more specific guidance. Is it okay for me to ask a few questions now?
Yeah, that's no problem.
Can you tell me a little bit about what happened in the accident? What's your recollection of the events leading up to it and what occurred during the accident itself?
Yeah, I was basically driving down the highway. Someone ran a red light, smashed into my car.
Sorry to hear that. Were you injured in the accident?
Yes, I broke my arm.
Did the other drivers stop and exchange information with you, or did they flee the scene?
They stopped, exchanged information. The cops came.
Did the police officers who responded to the accident scene create a police report? And if so, do you have a copy of it?
I do.
Based on the information you've shared with me, it's likely that we can get you substantial compensation for your injuries and damages. Can you please hold for just a moment while I transfer the call to one of our attorneys who can discuss the details further with you?
Yeah, no problem.
Once the prospect has been qualified, we can either direct transfer them directly to your phone or schedule an appointment on your calendar. Schedule your demo today to see how easy it is to deploy AI agents for your business.
Okay, so that is an example of what business owners are responding to. And it's incredible to
While texting,
just the amount of people what you're getting is you got people who are attorneys, but you got insurance agents. I had a guy come in who runs a basketball foundation. Like, there's all these different people. What's cool is that I'm able to help them all. My fulfillment doesn't really change because they're the ones generating the leads. All I do is change up who the business is that they called and the qualification questions and what number I'm live transferring it to. Like, we can fulfill in like 15 minutes. So it doesn't really matter who it's going to. So I've sold bots to these insurance agents, pet breeders, attorneys, small used car dealers, equipment rental dealers, etc. It just doesn't really matter. If they're willing to buy it, they're willing to buy it. Now, when I originally made these slides, I had only started testing this out with a few people. And you see this guy here, his name was Frankie. He's actually in our program. His name is Frankie, wasn't Frankie. We had just launched his ads, and like within a day, he's like, dude, we got 2 appointments. Since then, and this is probably a month ago, he's booking on average, probably I would say 10 to 15 appointments per week using our method, and he's closing clients. I don't have an exact tally number, so I'm not going to make one up for a webinar, but I know he's taken in thousands of dollars in sales. He's got many, many, many clients on reoccurring revenue. Their usage he makes money on. He makes money on their subscription fee, and he charged a nice hefty setup fee. In fact, there's another guy who just started about 2 weeks ago. His name's Alan. He's already gotten about 14, 15 appointments in that amount of time using our strategy. And these are people who had no audience, nothing. And he closed a $3,000 setup fee sale this past week. So I'm pumped to see, what's coming through the pipes here and how people are getting deals. And, it works. Like the system, what's nice is it's not just me, but when you don't niche down like this and you just go after, you end up getting a ton of demos. It's a nice, easygoing conversation, which we'll go through here in just a little bit. It's just a beautiful business model. Like I can literally help you go from having no business to having traction within a week or 2. So here's an example of another guy. Paul, you can see here, he launched our system with our targeting and all of our stuff and our 51 demos at $59.48. Like that's by not niching down to an offer, but niching down to a pain point. So let's go get into step 3, the perfect demo to close them. Because now you know what you're selling, live transfers, if you're still here. You know who you're selling to, not an industry, but a pain point. Let's go to step 3. What are you going to say when you get on the phone with these people? How do you close them? So I just want you to do what we do. Copy us. I'm glad to do that. So is that a pitch deck? No. Whiteboard? No. Feature demo? No. We're just going to have a nice conversation. I'm going to talk to you about the flow of how this works. So we have a conversational framework, and even though it feels natural, I will tell you what, just as an attorney will ask questions and go through something to make it sound like they're naturally drawing out information from someone who has taken the stand, we're doing the same thing. Your brain has 3 different stages that it goes through for a buying cycle. The first one is your amygdala. And the amygdala is responsible for releasing adrenaline, but they just saw this in an ad and now they're on a demo. It could have been a day or 2. So you got to remind them of the pain. So here's what we do. We started off, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Ross. Before we get started today, I was just hoping you could tell me what problem you were hoping we can solve for you today. But what does this do? Notice I highlighted before we get started. This disarms them. If they think you're already selling to them and pitching to them, they've got their reservations up by saying, before we get started, now they're like, oh, okay, we haven't gotten started yet, even though we've already started. Notice by saying I was hoping you could tell me what problem you were hoping we can solve for you, it does 2 things. 1, it gets them to acknowledge they have a problem that they want you to solve. But B, notice I said we, not me. People are more likely to buy from a company than a person. Even though people buy from people, it takes the ego out. Because let's say you and I get on, you're going to be like, who is this schlump who looks like he just got done golfing in a simulator, me, who's, with his white t-shirt and his baseball cap, and he thinks he's going to solve my problem? Especially if it's someone successful. So by saying we, it shows them that, it makes things have the appearance that it's not just you, but your company has a solution. One benefit to a software too is that people can at least acknowledge it's a software that's solving their problem immediately, and they don't have to feel like the ego is involved in it. So anyways, we remind them of the pain. So while they're speaking, you know what we're doing? You're finding a way to diagnose the issue with your solution. Now, recently, as we started doing, because we did a 6-week class where we took people through, how to build their AI agency from 0 to, growing it by the end of the 6 weeks. And I was hopping on demos with people. And one of the things that I found that was pretty interesting is that people were saying, Ross, you spend way more time diagnosing their issues than I did. In fact, we have a recording of me doing a sales call with Frankie, and that was actually a turning point for him, because after we did that, what ended up happening was he started emulating it and they started closing deals. But I'll have like a piece of paper, and I'm literally writing down the things, the stuff that I'm trying to get them to figure out in their business while I'm doing it. I need a clear picture. I need a clear picture as to what it is that they are trying to accomplish, what their sales cycle looks like. I need to understand, all the different phases, like how do leads come in? When their leads come in now, what are they doing to convert them? Do they have leads? What's their offer? How do they pitch people? I need to understand all this. And the reason for it is because if I don't understand their business, I can't figure out how the business fits in. So sometimes I can figure this out in 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes me 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes me a half hour. Not that I'm an idiot, but because I have to fully, in depth, understand what all their solutions are. And here's an example. We were talking to a guy who owns a dance studio. His problems that he has is that he doesn't have someone that can answer phone calls during normal hours. He had all these different things. So we had to dig in and really find how this works and what solution is right for him. Your brain should be creating a clear picture, making sure that you fully understand how this would look going forward. If you don't understand it fully, they won't. So even speaking their language. So like, let's say I'm talking to a martial arts gym. I'm going to say, so for qualification, as it calls them, it can ask them, what age group are you looking to, are you in, what kind of techniques are you looking, whatever these questions are. I'm not in martial arts, so maybe that was a bad example. But the point is you want to speak their language. Then they know that you understand their business. That gives them a little bit of a confidence to like, hey, I'm going to work with this guy because he understands what I need fully. I'm going to teach you a little trick. So this is a conversational framework that I've been using for a while, and I'm not going to pretend I made it up, but I put a bunch of pieces together to make this work. So there's a book out there called The Challenger Sale. There's also a book out there called Pitch Anything. And I've taken elements from all these things and put them together. And here's how it works. You're going to go into education mode with them. This is going to give you this authority as well. You see, they are on a path. That's this right here, the path. And the path is that they are trying to get to an end result, which in most cases, it's more money, more customers, more business. And so they're already looking at solutions for that path. They might even think that your solution is that solution for the path. Usually they do, because we don't give them the solution in the ads. We just tease them a little bit with the pain. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take their objections, confusions, their product awareness, all this. You're going to bleed into it, and you're going to reroute their entire journey. And the only way you can do that is by putting a block in their path. So here's what you could say, for instance. Let's say it's AI bots. We're going to say, listen, I know that you're already kind of interested in AI. That's why you're on the ad, and you see that this is a potential issue to your problem. Here's the thing. We've gone down this path, and we found that if you just have AI bots following up on calls and taking calls, your conversion rate will inevitably drop. And the reason for that is because people don't want to talk to a robot unless they know for a certainty that there's a human on the other end of that. And people don't pick up the phone for a phone call on a number they don't recognize. So if you just call the lead as it comes in, it's not going to work. You're going to have a lower conversion rate. So that's why we have a system where first we get them talking through text, and then we get them into a live transfer. So what I've done is I've basically put a block in their path, and I've confirmed, hey, your objections that you've had, good objections. They were all true. We faced them as well. Every single one of them came true. Here's what the solution is. Bloop, your solution. You reroute them to the end result. Now you've got a worm in their head. So even if they decide to go with another objection or another solution, and they start having those results, like, oh, that guy was right. He told me that this is how that was going to work. So the end result you are looking for is exactly what we solve. We just solve it a different way. Don't you love that phrase? We just solve it a different way. Because what we found is that most people are either trying to hire a call center, they're using AI, but they're not positioning it properly with their prospects, and it's killing the conversations or the conversions, rather. I guess both conversations and conversions. So you can kind of see how this goes. So what we do is take them through the framework of how the live transfer system works. So the demo part, I might literally just show them a voice, make a phone call, and get on a phone call and let them here's what the voice sounds like, here's what the live transfer sounds like, just so they can hear it. But I'm not going through a software and showing them features. Like, that would be ridiculous. We're not going to go through that. So here's the pricing that I use. You can actually raise all these prices. The only reason I do this is because I sell to both end users and marketers. And so, like, because I'm using the same brand for both, if end user comes and looks and sees that marketers are only paying $97 a month or this or that, they're gonna they're gonna think, what in the world is this guy's problem? So what I do is I say, hey, listen, if you just want to do this on your own and you think you can set up all the tech, by the way, I don't start with this. I always start with the done for you setup. But if they want to do that, they can just buy the software and then they can just pay a subscription plus a per minute charge. That's fine. I never lead with that on a phone call. I only present the done for you offer, and I only use the software as a downsell. So basically, minimum setup fee that I charge is $1,500 a month, or not a month setup fee, and then $97 a month for just one user seat. If they need more, then they can increase that. And I go through 10, depending on if they're using real-time voice model or if they're using like the speech to text, et cetera, 10 cents a minute to 45 cents a minute, depending on what they want to do. That's it. But you can change how you want to charge them for this. But I really think charging $1,500, $3,000, $5,000, that should be the setups. I'm putting here conservative. This is the reality is it takes me 15 minutes to fulfill on the live transfer bot for them. So 15 minutes on a live transfer bot, that's fine. $1,500 pays my ads. We make good money on that. Now we got good MRR, and then our usage is going to be great. On average, you're going to make about $200 to $300 a month per person on usage. We're going for a volume game here. So you can really build nice, stable income quick. And, I'll give you this example. You might know there's a company out there called Jasper, and they used to be Jarvis. And when they first came out, boy, they were expensive, like $200, $300 a month. And you had limited tokens. And then the day ChatGPT came out for $5, $10 a month, they lost so much business. And that's kind of how AI is. Like, you can charge high prices if you want, but if you build an infrastructure based off having to charge those high prices, as the market consolidates, and it will, you're going to get priced out, and they had to lay off a ton of people. So that's why I love this model. It's easy. It's a no-brainer, and you can charge more for the setup fee or the monthly fee. It doesn't matter. This is just minimums as to what it would take for you to be able to build a solid business quick. So when you sign up, we invite you into our project manager. This is important phrasing because they need to know what's going to happen after they pay you. So when you sign up, we're going to invite you into our project manager. We onboard you. We get access to your socials, help you set up the OpenAI account, etc. And then me and my team go to work. About 5 to 7 days and your system's ready to go. Then if I turn around and deliver it to them in 1 day or 2 days, then I look like a genius. But what I'm trying to do is I don't want them to feel like they're going to pay me money and then have to go figure a bunch of stuff out. It's like, nope, we're going to get you in the project manager. We're going to get on an onboarding call. We do it all. You have the transparency. Like, we're going to do all the implementation for you on this. Then you just ask them, what do you think? Go silent. Let them tell you what their objections are, and just keep having a conversation with them, working them through it until you get them to a yes. Even if they say no, you can get them to a yes if you just keep on the phone and keep nailing through objection after objection. So my agency acquisition system in summary is this. And this is basically what we've been discussing. In summary, the reason SaaS AI resellers are failing is because they are selling complexity. They are selling the hole and not the drill. Actually, it's the other way. They are selling the drill and not the hole. Type that wrong. Today, people are doing the same exact darn thing. They are still selling the drill and not the hole. They're doing that through AI bots. We are selling end results. We offer them a simple yet effective, proven system We niche down to the pain point and not to the industry. And this improves our results, cost per lead, cost per appointment, conversion rate. We have just a genuine conversation with them. We put up the little roadblock, provide an alternative solution. We pitch them on a reasonable cost, $1,500 setup fee. Then we sell them at $97 a month plus their usage. Really, I want to make the money off the usage. The subscription is just there because it makes things a little bit more sticky and also sustainable. So here's my question for you guys. How did I do? Do you feel like you know exactly? The question that I would say is, do you feel like you know exactly what the system does that I'm selling? So like, you know, the structurally, like text, you know, the asking if they want to call, giving them a little pre-insight, then it does the live transfer qualification. I mean, you might be using different tools, so you have to set it up, but at least you get the idea as to how that works. Do you clearly know which pain points that I'm targeting? And do you know exactly how I'm pitching it? Of course you do, because I just read it to you. So we made a deal. There's only so much that I can teach here in 1 hour. So if you guys would like to go deeper, further into growing an AI agency, work with me in a capacity where I actually have an obligation to help you get results, would you want to? With that, I want to make an offer to you guys. I told you guys earlier it's about $1,000. It's my AI agency offer, my 6-week live training where we implement systems to acquire AI customers at your demand with a rinse and repeat method. Now, I'm just going to tell you guys right out of the gate, this program costs $991, and you can get it at aiagencyoffer.com. And the reason I'm telling you this out of the gate is because I want to show you all the really cool stuff that it does without you having to think about what's the price. I want you to just know what it does. So we go deeper, further on your fulfillment, your pricing, actually acquiring the customers. And this is an actionable format training, so you don't need to wait until the 6 weeks is over to implement. In fact, the 6 weeks now are pre-recorded. We're just doing weekly coaching sessions with Q&A. So every Tuesday we get on a Zoom call. You can get on that call and we're going through helping solve business problems. And what's nice is you're going to be in a community with other agency owners doing the same thing. You can hear problems they face, how they're overcoming it. We all work through these together at aiagencyoffer.com. By the end of the class, you will not only have a clear plan of action, but you'll also have an edge on all these other agencies who are still just trying to figure it out. They're faking their way through all of this. We actually sold this training, an initial version of this training this past summer. We've redone it the last 6 weeks. That 6 weeks just ended, but we sold it at $11.97 this past summer. We had 44 people jump in. So you're getting it at a great offer here. So let's go through these bonuses. Bonus number 1, you're going to get access to my personal ad launch. So what this is when you log in, you connect your Facebook ad account, you add your calendar link, and then you just hit launch ads. And what it does is it uses my creative, my ad settings, and all of that, my targeting, everything to generate demos for you. So that screenshot you saw earlier in the training, this is someone in my ad launch account who launched their ads and now they're getting demos. And they're 100% tested. So you're going to get ads dripped out. So you'll have, one creative month 1, second creative month 2, third creative month 3. Now, I've personally tested all of these with this no brand ad because the ad doesn't have my brand in it and it converts wonderful. So you can get access to this at aiagencyoffer.com. But think about that. If you were to hire me to run your ads, you'd be paying $3,000 a month. You can get it automated and then it's in your ad account. It builds it in your ad account. So then you can take it, tweak it, scale it, do whatever you want with it. So you're going to get this monthly creative for the next 3 months added into your ad launch account. It's actually my ad launch account. So you're going to get in there and be able to use it like a client. aiagencyoffer.com. And you can keep that access to that. It's not going to get revoked. So every single month for the next 3 months, I'm going to be adding creative that is tested with tens of thousands of dollars to make sure that this stuff converts. So why would I do this? Well, because I intend on selling this program at a higher cost every single week. I'm going to be relaunching, re-recording these trainings on a weekly basis. So if everyone was running the same ads for many, many months, guess what would happen? They'd become ineffective, wouldn't they? So in the training, I actually teach you how how to get good creative to work, how to test the creative. You get access to an advertising academy, all these different things, because after the 3 months, I want you to know how to do it on your own. So I give you all of that at AIAgencyOffer.com. So here we've got a couple different values here. We've got our AI agency 6-week workshop. We have the ad launch. Let's get into bonus number 2. I'm going to give you 3 months of Consolidator white label. This is the tool you're going to need to make the live transfer system work for the voice. So as you can see here, you'll be able to get in, set up unlimited clients, unlimited bots, and all of that. The only thing you have to do is pay for your usage, which is your OpenAI, and then your Twilio fees, etc., and the stream fee. But you're going to get 3 months of Consolidator white label, which is typically $300 a month at no cost. So here's why you need it. To perform live transfers, you need a system capable of integrating with Go High Level that can also perform outbound calls. So there's a few tools that I'm going to show you guys in a moment that you will need to acquire customers that can only be provided inside of Consolidator. So not only am I going to give you the skills to get the customers, close the customers, and generate a lot of revenue, but I'm also giving you the tools to do it for the next 3 months. Be able to brand it as your own. So here we're going to get into bonus number 3. 3 months of our identity resolution. This is critical to getting a good cost and getting your conversion rate down. Now, what is that? It's where you're going to put a little script in your website. You're going your funnels, your calendars, your everywhere. And what happens is as people visit, not only can you see what they're doing, but notice it's going to resolve about 10 to 30% of the people. It's going to get you their emails, their phone numbers, etc., and then we send them into a retargeting campaign. And I give you that retargeting campaign in the 6-week training in here. And so what that allows you to do is then turn that undiscovered leads into revenue. So you can see here in our dashboard, in about 4.5 months, we generated 2,300 leads with this, pulled in $79,000 in added revenue. Isn't that incredible? And that was just from a little script, and you're going to get 3 months of it for free. If you're running ads, it's a no-brainer because it fills holes in the bucket. So you'll get that at the AIAgencyOffer.com. So we're also going to give you community plus our snapshots, and then you're going to get all these other courses that I've created. Snapshots, courses, bot building trainings, local bots. This is, I don't want you to get overwhelmed with this, but in our training in the 6 weeks class, sometimes I'll be like, okay, guys, your homework for this week is go watch the AI live transfer training and download the snapshot. That's the snapshot that we've been discussing here, where it does all the stuff and sends the text and does all that. So all of that is in there. You're getting these things to where your fulfillment will only be 15 to 30 minutes to be able to set that up for people. And then you have access to us to be able to talk to us and all that. And that's how we communicate with you for our weekly coaching calls. Bonus number 4 here. Many programs are beefed up on the front end, and then once you buy, you're just kind of tossed into a member site like a number and you don't have help. This one's different. You're going to be able to ask me and my team questions, and whether it's closing or fulfillment, my team is on your side. We become your team. In fact, if you're struggling, like you're getting demos and you can't close them, you let me know. I'll hop on a call with you and show you how it's done. Can't promise I'll close the deal, but at least you'll know the strategy and the style that does work. That's how closely integrated and intimate I am with this program. And so that's at AIAgencyOffer.com. You can see how, the community in this works. You got the live transfer snapshot. We got our reactivation snapshot. You can download those into your Go High Level, and it works with Consolidator really nicely. So you're getting a value of $4,847. Your cost is only $991. It's incredible. You get that. AIAgencyOffer.com. Now, if you have any questions, make sure you're putting them down in the chat below. We're happy to answer any of them for you. But here's why I do this, because the white label version of Consolidator, it's $297. So technically 3 months of that, you'd be at $891 plus the 3 months of identity resolution. So basically, you're getting this entire program for the same cost of what it would be if you just used the software for the next 3 months. So I'm just saying, hey, if you commit to 3 months of the software, I'm going to give you a lot more than what you paid for. So I want to take this just one step further. If you launch my system in its entirety, you still have not seen at least a 2-to-1 ROI by the end of month 3, I'll give you another 3 months of it free, which doubles your investment. So now you've gotten $1,800 worth of software for the cost of 3 months. So hopefully this all makes sense. And if you have questions, just ask. This is perfect for anyone who feels like, maybe they once had a successful agency and they feel it's fizzling and they don't know what to do, or they value learning from others and having a community to speed things up, or they're ready to stop chasing shiny objects. And maybe they see the value in these AI tools, but they don't know how to capitalize on them. So, you're here because you want to learn how to grow an AI agency offer. This is the best way I can tell you to do it. I will say this, while we don't have a personal financing option on the checkout page at aiagencyoffer.com, there is an option to use Affirm to make the payment. So if you have decent credit, you can do that. And they break it up over like 12 months, 0% interest. I'm not trying to recommend you take loans if you can't afford this, because you are going to want to have a little bit of money to be able to run ads to make the system work. But I hope to see you in this program. Guys, like I said, if you have any questions, ask them down in the Q&A. We're happy to answer those for you. Thank you for being on this training. Have an incredible week.